Family, good morning. It is Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Please give a roll tide inside the comment box. Today is Friday. It is February 27th. I hope that you are off to an amazing Friday. This Sunday is already going to be March. So we made it through February. Always a month that has it has a lot of question marks. I think you get to a month of February and you have high anticipation for spring football, but you're also kind of closing out, that last season. And you kind of have put closure with that season, and now you kind of start looking away to the next season. But you kind of have this brief window in the back end of February every year where you have the NFL Combine, and we'll touch on that briefly, where you do hear from players that are going to the NFL Combine, and you kind of hear some closing remarks about those particular players, where they are on draft boards, and you hear from some of those players in terms of what went right, what went wrong, how good those players actually were, how many are going to be like first-round picks, second, third-round type guys, and there's a couple, recruiting pieces of news in there, but the majority is kind of like a changeover type season for the month of February. So today on the show, we're going to talk about the NFL Combine. We'll hit on just a couple things from the Combine, which is taking place all throughout this week, all throughout Sunday. And then we will also be going over some offensive line today on Feel Good Friday. And then at 10:45 a.m. Central Time, or maybe a little bit before that, today's show might be a little bit more condensed. We will spin the pinwheel. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much, and hope that you are off to an amazing Friday. As I open up Friday's show, I started thinking, we have gone over quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, offensive line. If you've been, and receivers. And if you've caught Wake Up Bama, we've detailed each of those positions. And so my question to you inside the comment box, and we'll briefly hit on each of those areas, is what is the top offensive unit going into spring football? And I think that's a really good question, because all of the questions, for the most part, at least going into spring football, all have to do with the offensive side of the ball. There's definitely some questions on defense, and as we start to talk about defense next week, and by the way, spring football practice will be, I think it starts out March 9th, okay? So we're kind of been leading up positional previews to that day. But from the offensive perspective, what would you say? What is the best offensive unit, or the most talented offensive unit? Is it quarterbacks? Is it running backs? Is it tight ends? Is it wide receivers? Is it the offensive line? I don't know. I mean, let's think about this real quick. And the reason I think that this particular question is hard for us to assess is because a lot of the areas are unproven, right? You could be like, yo, it's the quarterbacks. And I could just be devil's advocate, and I'd be like, why do you feel that way with a quarterback that played 4 games last year and a quarterback that played 2? How do you know that that's the best? Well, I just have a feeling. I've seen these guys kind of, putting in the work, and I'm talking about Austin Mack and Keelan Russell, talking about some freshmen who just got here. Is that the most talented group? I think with a quarterback like Keelan Russell, certainly you got to think the ceiling is like ultra high, but is it the most talented right now? That's a good question. You're going to have competition, and we'll start to understand more of that, right, as we go forward with the quarterback room. Is it the running backs? Is that the most talented unit? I think this room received some criticism last year. They didn't have the right guys. The guys weren't fast enough. The guys didn't hit the hole, right? They weren't explosive enough. We didn't have explosive plays from the running backs. You look at the running backs, and you're like, well, okay, Daniel Hill, right, A.K. Deere, Kevin Riley, right? You welcome in Xavier Crowell. Is that the most talented room? Again, not a ton of production, right? I'm talking Kevin Riley too. It's just like, I don't know. You talk about the tight ends. The tight ends are never going to be like an ultra like top end group. I guess in some places it could be. I don't think it is here, and I'm not knocking the tight ends. It's just like these guys still have to prove themselves as well. I mean, I think our best tight end overall might be a sophomore tight end that didn't have a ton of production. I mean, he definitely didn't play, and I'm talking about Caleb Edwards. We have a transfer coming in that we're excited about. Another freshman that's coming in that we're excited about. Right? Is it the offensive line? You got Michael Carroll and who? Right? And I'm not saying this to like poke holes at the offensive line. When I was thinking, I was like, what should I open up with? I was like, okay, we've talked about the offense. So what is the top offensive unit this spring? Or at least going into spring? Offensive line, all I could tell you is that Michael Carroll's the absolute dog, and like we got some guys that we're really hopeful about. Will Sanders and Casey Poore, returners that are entering their redshirt sophomore year that seem to be, guys. We got some transfers in that seem to be guys. But until these guys start playing, we don't know. I think it might be. I think, honestly, now that I've kind of had a chance to think about it, and even this group, the only group that I haven't spoken about is the wide receivers, and they don't even have a lot of experience. Outside of Ryan and Lazier Brooks, this room does not have a lot of experience either, and that's the wide receivers. That's why I think this is a really hard question. So I'm going to poll you guys, all right? And I'm going to ask inside the comment box, top offensive unit going into spring. And I'm going to say QBs. I'm going to say running backs. I am going to say, I'm going to leave out the tight ends. I'm going to say wide receivers. And I am going to say the offensive line. I guess I always like to participate in these polls as well. I guess I'm going to say wide receivers. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is the best unit. But Kyle, remember, your top wide receiver led the country in drops. You got another guy who's going into his second year, and outside of that, none of the other guys really had a really big impact on this team from last year. It's interesting to think about. So far, wide receivers are leading the poll, and that I do understand it. Ryan Williams, already spoke on him. Lazier Brooks, already spoke on him. We welcome in Noah Rogers. Tyler Henderson is a guy that's getting a lot of notoriety right now, junior college guy that people are excited about, ultra fast. All right. You have 3 younger players in the 2026 class that were added. Derek Meadows, Rico Scott, guys who we're hoping for to have a big year. Sadarian Morgan, kind of our cornerstone 2026 guy, looks to have a splash year. The poll doesn't seem too far off. It has 47% wide receivers, 29% quarterbacks, 18% running backs, and then offensive line at 6%. And I don't think that the offensive line is getting votes just because people don't know. You could talk all day long, but until you see, seeing is believing, I think, to a lot of people. People have seen the wide receivers, right? People really haven't seen the quarterback. I guess the only group that is, that I'm curious about is 18% for the running backs. That is interesting to me. But anyways, kind of that's where we're at as we go into spring football. Is this a bad thing that we don't know about the offense? Not necessarily. I think it means we've got a new offense. Is a new offense a bad offense? Well, that's up to the guys to determine. We got guys. And Ryan Grubb, this is his year to turn it up. We got Adrian Klim. You got a new offensive line coach. He felt that was the issue. You got a new wide receivers coach in. All right, let's start cooking, right? So with that said, welcome to today's program. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me on the program each and every day, live at 10 a.m. Central Time, or as major news happens, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program. As you know, before we get to the shout-outs, Alabama in action at the NFL Combine. We will discuss that coming up in just a minute. Right here you have Justin Jefferson, who ran a great 40 time, 4.5, and then you have Deontay Lawson. And I think as we start to transition next week talking about Alabama's defense, that is where one of the biggest question marks for me is at the linebacker position. because not only did you lose these two quality individuals, you also lost Nakai Hill Green. So that is coming up next. But first, let's talk about our AM shoutouts. All right, we got to give our family love. So let me get that loaded to the screen. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here on today's program. Really appreciate you guys getting active inside the comment box. Truth be told, I have so many things that I'm doing today, and I'm sure just like you, I am going. We're celebrating Lacy's birthday this afternoon, right? She'll turn 13. So I got chairs. I got really nice. And I'm going to give them a shout out probably all next week, and I'll show you guys photos how it came together. Chair Chic, right here in Tuscaloosa. I have a buddy, and they said they'd do some trade with me. So Chair Chic in Tuscaloosa. I got 15 chairs, beautiful tables, circular tables with tablecloths for the birthday party today. And again, I'll show you some photos. So that's what we're going to do. And I got a banner for her. I got balloons for her. We're going to do some trivia for Lacy. I'm going to be the host. We got 15 little girls coming. And you got to be able to, who knows Lacy the best. So, we have a bunch of games. So I'm leading that this afternoon. So I'll go from show host today to trivia host for my little girl's birthday party in the afternoon. It should be really great for Lacy. All right, so let's see who's here. Mostly, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. I think Mostly goes to sleep in the morning time because he's on a farm, right? So what's up, Mostly? He's in the raffle today, by the way. Young C, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We got Miss Crystal Jones coming to us. Appreciate you. We got Chris from New Jersey. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Justin, RTR, good morning to you, brother. We got Rex. I saw Rex is up here. We have Ricky Smith. We have Anna. We have Chris OG. We have Max Tooney. Good morning to everybody. We got Matthew Newton. What's up, Matthew Newton? Good to see you, bro. We got Leroy up in the house. We got Matthew Newton. I think I said what's up to you. We got Will Highnote. You're in the raffle as well later on today. I'm not going to mention the people that are in the raffle. I'm just, if I see you, I'll say it. Oceanic Jaws, what's up, man? Good to see you. And then we got Star Wars. Good to see you, Star Wars. What's up, man? Star Wars is here. You know what I'm saying? Star Wars is here. We see you, Star Wars. The champ, thank you so much for rolling through. Broderick, what's up? Broderick got in his second F3 workout today. All right, Broderick, he's in the Hillcrest area. All right, so next time you need to be taken care of, he's a nail tech. All right, so hit up Broderick. He'll take care of you in the Hillcrest area. So I'm giving you a little shout out, Broderick. Broderick got 4.7 miles in today, which is absolutely impressive. Anna, we said what's up to you. And, everybody else, what's up? Good morning, Undefeated. I appreciate you guys rolling through on this beautiful Friday. We have 35 people on. My God. All right, let's do it. 35 people on. Holy cow. All right. The NFL Combine is taking place. All right. And you have Justin Jefferson over here on the left, and we have Deontay Lawson over here on the right. Justin Jefferson, this man had a fantastic season, all right, with Alabama last year, and he was able to come back for his junior year, for another season because he played junior college because of the Diego Pavia deal, right? And he came back in with and he ran a 4.540 time. I'm not surprised to see that. I think Justin Jefferson is a guy that he's made for an NFL combine. Some guys are made for combines. Some guys are not. Some guys are made for just Sundays. You know what I'm saying? And I think some guys just show up when the lights turn on. I think a guy like Deontay Lawson is probably more suited for that. Deontay Lawson isn't going to wow you in the combine, but I think if I was to draft one of these guys, I'd probably draft Deontay Lawson. I think Deontay Lawson, how high is his ceiling? I don't know. He might be closer to his ceiling than, other guys, but I think he kind of has a veteran personality to him. And I think he's smart. I think he's a great addition to the locker room. I think he's a hell of a football player. I think when you're looking at a guy like Justin Jefferson, he's going to be good too. He's a little bit undersized, in my opinion, for an inside linebacker, so I'm curious to see what happens with him as he goes to the NFL. But he has super incredible talent. So those two young men absolutely doing work. Again, Justin Jefferson ran a 4.540 time, and Deontay Lawson doing his things as well, getting a lot of positive marks as a former Alabama linebacker. Man, good to see him, man. I love the story of Deontay Lawson. I'm so glad that he came back last year. And as I was saying, as we start to talk about Alabama's defense, which will be next week, the inside linebacker, it's going to be so hard to replace Justin Jefferson, Deontay Lawson, and Nikhai Hill-Green. We got a transfer coming in, Caleb Woodson, and then after that, we don't know. We got guys, but we just don't know, right? Jay, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for the super. Hope you're doing well, man. I know you're probably on the road somewhere, driving out there, so thank you so much. You're driving and super chatting. We appreciate. We hope you're not driving and super chatting, but if you are, be responsible. All right, we appreciate you, Jay. Thank you so much. We'll catch up with you guys, on the phones when we crack up the phone lines, maybe next week or something like that. We'll kind of see how it goes. All right, so thank you so much. And let's see. Thank you, Jay, again. We also have LT Overton and Tim Keenan. All right, so LT Overton, great story here because this guy. Well, I don't even know. Have they announced officially what happened to him? Like, what was his sickness? Remember, because he was sick there for like a month. And I'm glad he was able to come back. And he was great. And I started thinking about this. And I might do this next week. And this might be something to think about, okay? If you were to think about this, and like I said, we're not going to go through this all today. But I started thinking about this. If there were like the top 10 players for Coach Kalen DeBoer, right, on throughout the last 2 seasons, who would that be? The top 2 seasons that DeBoer has been here, who are the top 10 players that Coach Kalen DeBoer has had? I started thinking about that, and I think I might talk about that on the podcast the next couple of days. I was like, the top 10. Who's the number 1? Can you guys just off the top of your head, who's the best player that DeBoer has had within the last 2 years? Carl Moore, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Yeah, Jay, I'll be able to put you in the raffle, bro. Yep, I'll get you in. Who would you say is the best player that DeBoer has had within the last 2 seasons? It's kind of harder to think about who is it? I don't even know. I'd have to sit down and I'd have to look at the 2 rosters. For me, it's not an automatic right now. I don't know. And I'm not saying that like LT Overton or Tim Keenan are one of those guys. Do they crack the top 10? Maybe. But it's not as easy as you think. See, okay, Will Heinor, okay, Jeremy Bernard. We got 2 for Jeremy Bernard. I like that. Okay. Jeremy Bernard. Wow. So Jeremy Bernard might be our number 1 guy. I like that. A quality player for 2 years. Okay. Who else? Is there anyone else? Jeremy Bernard's a great pick. Not mad about that, fam. I'll roll with that. Who's your best quarterback? I know Ty Simpson is at the podium today, so if he says anything, we'll clip off a quote or something like that. I know Ty Simpson is talking. But who else, right? Show 44 is like, no names really jumping out. Yo, Show 44, I'm telling you, bro, it's like, you're like, oh, who are the top 10 players the last 2 years? You're like, I'm glad you guys brought up Jeremy, because that makes 100% sense. And then after that, you're like, and I'm not saying that the teams were bad. I'm just saying, like, why aren't the names easier to think about? I don't know. Will also has Bray coming back again for a third year under DeBoer. I don't know. Wade's like, man. Oh, Justin has Parker Brailsford. And Chris, I was thinking about this too. Chris has Ryan Williams, but like freshman version. Ryan, we got to have two Ryans, right? Xavier Brown's a good addition. What's up, Ricky Smith? Rex has Brailsford. That's an interesting one too. I think Brailsford would definitely be up there. I don't know. So I think next week we're gonna, we'll do that, and kind of go from there. Malachi Moore, what's up? Wait in real estate. Good to see you, bro. Good morning to you. Ooh, I really like Jahad Campbell. Yeah. All right, we'll think about it. Tim Keenan also in attendance at the NFL Combine. I mean, look at this man. The pride of Birmingham, right? 330 pounds out there moving around. Ton of athleticism. I don't know where he'll go in the NFL draft. I would love if the Niners drafted Tim Keenan. I've always been a fan of his game, 100%. I hope that things continue to work out for Tim Keenan, and whoever gets him, I think is quality. You know, all these guys coming out, love to see him, but I would get Deontay Lawson, I would get Tim Keenan on my squad. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Alabama offensive line. If you caught the podcast, I went over the offensive line in detail today, as we've been kind of doing our spring positional previews. But if you didn't catch that, then welcome to some more Alabama offensive line talk. Let me ask you this question. Outside of Michael Carroll, who are you most excited to see from Alabama's offensive line? Outside of Michael Carroll, who are you most excited to see from Alabama's offensive line? I don't know. Oh, I know, but I'm asking you if you know. I'll go full screen in case you can't see all the names. Let's see. You got Jackson Lloyd, you got Will Sanders, Casey Poe, Mal Waldrop, Caden Strayhorn, Ty Haywood, Bryson Cooley, Jared Daugherty. You got Chris Booker, Bear Fretwell, Tyrell Miller, Ethan Fields, Rayson Delgado, Nick Brooks, Javen James. Okay, so let's see. We got some action inside the comment box. Got Jackson Lloyd, Haywood. You got Show 44 saying Michigan transfer. I think you're talking about Ty Haywood, right? A lot of Ty Haywood. Wow, a lot of Ty Haywood. Good to see it. Okay. I think for me, I'm gonna go with 2 second-year players, and I'm gonna go with Jackson Lloyd and Ty Haywood. I think the whole thing about Ty Haywood, kind of circling back to Alabama, I love that. You know, like at the end of the day, the guy wanted to be here, and he's a second-year player. He didn't get a lot of playing time at Michigan. I don't even know how Michigan fans felt about him leaving, right? Or like sources, what they said about him leaving. I thought Ty Haywood was going to be a guy, and I think he still is going to be a guy. But I think going into this redshirt freshman season, I'm happy to get Ty Haywood over here. Will he play? Will he start? I have no idea. But I can't wait to see. I'm super excited about him. And the other player I was going to say, probably equally, is Jackson Lloyd, another guy that is in his redshirt freshman year, right? So let me ask you this now. Who plays more this season, Ty Haywood or Jackson Lloyd? Or do we get them both on the field at the same time? And here's another question for you. Does Ty Haywood, could he theoretically play guard? Mask up. Daytona, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. You are 1,000,000% right. The competition in this room is going to be crazy. I think a lot of people have two transfers that they feel are going to be starters. We'll talk about that next. But my question to you is, Ty Haywood versus Jackson Lloyd, who plays more this season? I've heard like amazing things about Jackson Lloyd. I really have. Wade's like a lot of fresh faces, bro. Right? You got like Michael Carroll and a couple of the guys that were here, and then everybody else is new. Even the offensive line coach, he's new. By the way, 42% have the wide receiver room as the best offensive line unit going into spring. Followed by the quarterbacks at 33% and then running backs at 18%. All right. Your box, what's up, your box? Whoever can communicate better. They did say that communication was like the biggest thing for the offensive line. I do remember that. Davis, what's up, man? See, he's talking Jackson Lloyd. I'm telling you, Jackson Lloyd is a guy. Okay. Now let me ask you this, okay? What's up, J. Cole? We'll get to Nick Brooks in just a second. Interesting question. Morning, Bulldog, Mississippi. All right. Which transfer, we'll go, what kind of a transfer that's more of an upperclassman, Ethan Fields and Javen James? Do those guys each start? Because there's a guy who was breaking down film, I think yesterday on X, and he has Javen James and Ethan Fields starting for Alabama. Left tackle, Javen James, and then left guard, Ethan Fields. Do you think that Ethan Fields and Javen James start here? AR, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. So I'm asking, Javen James, transfer from Mississippi State, Ethan Fields from Ole Miss. Do you think that those guys start this year? I have to tell you, the film that the guy was showing on Ethan Fields looked pretty good to me. Javen James, I mean, it was one play that I watched. It looked good, right? You see what I'm saying? Your box, you saw it too. It did. I liked what I saw, but that was like one play. It wasn't like a whole. He played like 800 snaps. I don't know. I mean, there were some plays that Michael Carroll had that were exceptional. There were some other plays where Michael Carroll got cooked. Guys are going to get cooked during the season. I mean, it's like what we show you is how you view things. So, I don't know. Kind of those are the transfers. Let me ask you this. Is there a freshman on this board that maybe makes a push to play? And the freshmen here, Bryson Cooley, Jared Daugherty, you have Chris Booker, Bear Fretwell, and then a transfer in from junior college, Tyrell Miller. But is there a freshman here? Which freshman is most likely to play? I don't know that either. I kind of feel like Bryson Cooley. Remember, he ended up picking Alabama over LSU. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. I don't feel that way. Right? I don't feel that any freshman, like, and this isn't a knock to them. I think we just have guys who are going into their second year that are probably going to push for competition while those guys develop. Good development pieces, I think. And then a lot of second-year players, okay? So Michael Carroll, second-year player. Jackson Lloyd, second-year player. We also have Cadence Drayhorn, second-year player. Ty Haywood, second-year player. And we also have Nick Brooks, who's a second-year player. Right? So I guess that's 5 of them. So 5 second-year players. And one of the players that I think J. Cole was asking about was talking about Nick Brooks. So Nick Brooks is a monster. He's kind of similar size as Caden Proctor. He's like 6'7", 360. Now, what's interesting about Nick Brooks down here, he started a couple games for Texas as a true freshman. Yeah, early on the season. So he's got some experience, and I think from my understanding, Texas did not want him to leave. That's a great addition. Will Brooks start here? I don't know. And I have heard, too, that he can play guard and tackle. So I'm going to show you some graphics coming up next. And feel free to change them out, okay? I'm going to show you. This is not an indication of anything that's, like, starting. So on the next graphic, you pull out a piece of paper, write it down, post it inside the comment box. I'm happy to change things around on the next show. But just for reference sake, all right, let's look at a graphic just to, something visual, okay? Okay, so here's a graphic that I've cooked up, and this is, again, just to look at it. So in this pretend graphic, you have Javen James over here at left tackle. You have Ethan Fields at guard. You have Rayson Dalgatti, who we didn't talk about. We'll talk about him next. We have Nick Brooks at guard, and then we have Michael Carroll at right tackle. one of the biggest debates that we had, I guess, in January going into February was oftentimes when we spoke about the Alabama offensive line, we would talk about Michael Carroll. And time again, Michael Carroll, I would ask you, where do we put him, guard or tackle? I was over. You guys hit the override button and kept him at tackle. Just again this morning on Wake Up Bama, I was looking through the comments and someone was like, "Yo, put Michael Carroll at guard." People want him at guard. How do you feel about this offensive line setup right here? I'm not mad at it. Okay. I'm really not. I don't know if this sticks. Maybe you swap out Nick Brooks, with like someone else at guard. Maybe, you slide Michael Carroll over, I know, at guard, and you put Jackson Lloyd at right tackle. I don't know. I kind of like this just for right here. And the one guy that I didn't speak about was Rayson Delgatti. Wow, a lot of you like this setup with the offensive line. It's not bad, right? Delgatti comes over, and you needed a center. And I think Strayhorn would probably be after him. And I don't know who would be the third center. But Delgatti's a guy who comes from Cal Poly with a ton of experience. He probably has like 1,500 snaps or whatever at the center position. He looks kind of big, all right, nasty guy that we want right there. So it looks like, if I was to tell you like my high confidence level on like two guys starting for sure, is I got Michael Carroll and Rayson Delgatti, and then I have no idea. And down here, if you're looking at some of these names down here, I might not have all the guys because I'm always editing this down here. So like Ty Haywood, you could put, I don't think Ty Haywood is down here. But Ty Haywood, I would imagine, okay, so like Wade's World wants to replace Fields with Haywood. Let me see if I could do it on the other side of the screen. It might be kind of tough, but maybe I could do it. Just let's see if I can do it quick. And if not, I won't spend too much time on it, because sometimes editing on the fly is a little bit tough. All right, so we've wanted Fields. What I'm going to do, I know what to do. Okay, so we're going to put Haywood at, we want guard. Okay. Editing on the fly. Come on, Kyle, you could do it. Come on, man. Take your time. All right. Bam. All right, there you go. Is that it? Did I get it? Okay, so we have just updated it live. So we put Ty Haywood at guard over Fields. And now we have, from left to right, we got Javen James, Haywood, Delgatti, Brooks, Carroll. Are there any ones that I'm not mad at that? Right? I mean, another situation is we could put like, that was fast. I don't even know how I did that. Another one I guess we could do is, how about, would this piss you guys off? Would this make you mad if I put Michael Carroll at guard and then I put Jackson Lloyd at right tackle? That could be dope, right? I don't know. This offensive line looks pretty good. So a lot of good feedback on this. I'm not mad at it. And you know what? You might want to change your votes inside the comment box, because if you look at this, you're like, yo, ooh, this looks good. Yeah, that was a quick graphic. I'm not going to lie. I did something on the back end where I was able to kind of. All right. So do we like this? Do we keep it like this? I know, and I'm going to get hit up from some people on Jackson Lloyd. I know I will. But it's not bad to have, a solid too deep. And I think sometimes when you think like too deep, you think, oh man, that player's not good. That's not the truth. That's not. It's just, this is it for right here, but you got to swap in, right? So we're keeping Carroll at tackle. Okay, how about this then? Carroll's stapled over here at tackle. Is there anyone else that we can change at guard? Like for Brooks Or do we keep him there? Do we keep Brooks here at guard? Who would be behind him? Right? Let's say Brooks has to tie his shoe. His shoe flies off and it flies into the stands. Right? Who comes in for Brooks? Does anyone feel that like Will Sanders, Casey Poe? Yeah, Mascot of Daytona just wants Brooks. I get it, man. Let's see, Rex. So Kyle, do you know why it's good to keep Carroll at tackle? You know what? I've been wondering about that, Rex. I think, like, for me, watching him last season, there were some games where I think, like, technically he showed good athleticism to be on the attack or kind of wait for, you know, a defensive lineman kind of rush, and he's quick enough to kind of continue to, you know, man his defender. I think he's good in run block. I do think that he has a lot of athleticism to where, and that's why the only reason I bring him up at guard is that if you have him on pulling situations, he's athletic enough to you could run behind him. Jay Moneyman says edges will have a field day with Carroll. You know, when you watch the team that did get the best of Carroll is Auburn. If you watch that game, Auburn was running right around Carroll a couple times, more than a couple. I don't know. Maybe is that a time where you 12 personnel and you have another tight end over there? I guess we'll have to figure that out. So this is kind of a mock of what Alabama's offensive line could look like. Who do you have? So we got Racing Delgatti. Then we have Strayhorn. Does anybody know who could be the third center? Where do we have Casey Poe? Is he guard? Is he a center? Morning, Blissful Love. I really don't, Rex. I think, like, you know, keep him out there because he had a strong year last year. Let's keep it cooking, right? So I'm looking for third team center. And then I guess my final question before I kind of move on from this is, what are our thoughts on Javen James coming in? Javen James at left tackle. This dude played a ton at Mississippi State. I think he played in over 800 snaps for the Bulldogs. Are we high on Javen James? How are you guys feeling about him at left tackle? See, I was thinking Poe as well. Any thoughts on Javen James? Okay, so I have another graphic, and this one, I don't necessarily know if it was like too deep or not, but I had created this at some point before some of the transfers have gotten here. Okay, so like we hadn't had a ton of transfers that had transferred in, so this graphic I think was created like whenever Caden Strayhorn, because I think Strayhorn and Haywood relatively committed around like the same time, so it was before all those other transfers came. So this is what it like looked like, a graphic that we had built together like way back in like January. And as you can see how much better it got from here to here, right? Because there for a while we were like, oh man, Caden Strayhorn, this was before Delgatti, right? We were like, okay, it makes sense that, you know, maybe he's going to be the center, but he's young. But he did play, I think he played in like 90 snaps in the Holiday Bowl at center, okay? At that point in time, we had Michael Carroll at guard. We had Jackson Lloyd at right tackle. We had Haywood at left tackle. And we had Sanders at left tackle, or at left guard. And we were like, okay, like this looks manageable, but it doesn't look like this one, right? This looks much more solid than graphic 1, better than graphic 2. Like a huge difference between this one and this one. Much more experience, right? I mean, look, tons of experience here. tons of experience here, a moderate experience, and a good amount of experience. On this side, limited experience. Sanders played a little bit. Limited experience, played, not a lot of experience. I think it goes from like an experience standpoint. That's kind of what we're getting at. All right. Okay. All right. So that's kind of the offensive line. And I appreciate you guys, with the feedback inside the comment box. I really do. As you know, Alabama also has a new offensive line coach who is Adrian Clem. 15 years coaching experience, Power 5 background, coached at Oregon, USC, UCLA. He won 3 Super Bowls, known for kind of as a strong recruiter, but somebody that coaches really hard. So I think of all the coaches outside of the guys who have the most pressure are Adrian Clem and Ryan Grubb 1,000,000%. All right. But I'm excited. I'm excited about Clem, He's got a hell of a group to work with. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. My observations as I kind of move towards that, and then we'll spin the pinwheel here in just a few minutes. Michael Carroll, he's got it. But who else, right? Who else has kind of that mentality? I think Del Gotti seems to be a lock to be a starter at the center position. Who will replace the left tackle? Is it going to really be Javen James? Is it going to be someone else? I don't know. Right? Who is the sleeper in the room? Like, who is a guy that we're not talking about? Who are we not talking about for the offensive line? There's got to be somebody, right? The guard play, right? Who steps up at guard? Who's going to be the guard this year? I don't know. And then Adrian Clem, as mentioned, has pressure, all right? So that's kind of like the observations from the offensive line position. All right. Spin the pinwheel in just a few minutes. All right. Alabama basketball, real quick. Back in action tomorrow against Tennessee, 5 p.m. All right. The game will be on ESPN. This is a monster matchup for Alabama taking on Tennessee in the back end of SEC play. Alabama has absolutely been red hot, as you know, winning games against Texas A&M, Auburn, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Arkansas, LSU, and then this past Wednesday beating Mississippi State 100-75. So I think when you look to Alabama right now, they're as hot as anybody in the country. They're playing their best basketball right now. I know there's some outside stuff going on with Charles Bediako trying to get eligible by tomorrow. So keep your heads on a swivel in terms of that happening. I don't think it will. And as we've discussed before, I don't think that Bediako coming back to this squad necessarily elevates them kind of all the way. I don't. I think that they're playing right. This is what we got. What scares me, though, as I've said, is if something happens to Sherelle. Because if Sherelle goes down or something like that, we are absolutely cooked. Alabama basketball without Aiden Sherelle, I don't know. I'd be worried about us in the first round. I'm dead serious. All right, so the game's coming up. You can close things out, and you can finish as the 2 seed in SEC play. You beat Tennessee, Georgia, and then you take on Auburn, which is March 7th at Coleman Coliseum. So Alabama taking on Tennessee on the road in Knoxville on Saturday, which will be a very difficult game. Tennessee is a team that is physical. I think they're a bigger team. They like half court. They take really good shot selection. I think this is going to be a really tough. What's the line on this game? What's the line on Alabama, Tennessee for Saturday? This team is good. Tennessee is good. This is a good team, all right? Matthew, I don't know, dog. I don't know about Noah Williamson. Love him as a person, but all right. So we got a birthday shout out that we have to get to as well. All right. Oh, it's Dano's birthday. Okay, Dano. All right. Dano, this is for you, brother. All right. Happy birthday to Dano. Some people are optimistic. Some people are a little bit negative. Dano likes to sometimes live in that half glass world, right? So my wish for you and my prayer for you, Dano, as you celebrate a beautiful birthday on this February 27th, is that you enjoy your life, right? You fill up that glass just a little bit more so you see it as a little bit more full. You have great health. You have a little bit of wealth. And that you surround yourself with your family and that you take time to enjoy this beautiful weekend. All right. So birthdays are important. and I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, bro, and happy birthday to Dano, who sometimes, he sees things a little bit different, but we love you for it, and we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here, and happy birthday to you. And holy cow, just as we were saying, fill up your glass just a little bit more, we got a super chat coming in from Michael Hill, and this is a hell of a super chat. I love when they're in this pinkish hue color. And this is from Michael Hill, who says this. Just want to say thank you, Kyle, for the show. I love it. Got a bunch of good people in here, good energy. Happy Friday. Just want to say thank you, Kyle, for the show, and absolutely love it. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. That's a hell of a super chat on a Friday. So any day, that is certainly appreciated, and I thank you so much, Michael Hill. I know you've been a strong supporter as of late, and that means a great deal to me. You have no idea how much that means to me, Michael. So thank you so much for supporting Bama football on YouTube, and I'm just beyond grateful. So thank you so much. I really am. All right. As I close out on Alabama basketball, you look to kind of the head-to-head matchup, and I know you can't see the stats because of this beautiful 50 that we got on board from Michael, but LeBaron Philon, I would imagine he's back in action. He sat out last game with the undisclosed injury. I think he was a little bit banged up. He has 21 points averaging this year, but Amari Allen had his hair on fire. I mean, the guy could not miss. Alabama, there for a while, could not miss in that game against Mississippi State. They are going to need that type of performance against Tennessee on Saturday. Jarvis, do we have what's the line for this game, right? What's the line for this game on Saturday? Okay, looking at the SEC standings real quick, you see that Florida up on top, 13-2 in conference play, 22-6 overall, followed by Alabama, 11-4, and then 21-7 on the season. You also got Arkansas, and then you got Tennessee. So you got a two-way tie right now between Alabama and Arkansas, but clearly you know why. Alabama has a head-to-head over Arkansas, which was in double overtime. The best game, that we've seen, okay? Looking at some teams that are projected as number one seeds in the NCAA tournament as we start to kind of move closer to March. You got Duke, Michigan, UConn, and Arizona. These four teams, there is a really big difference between these four teams and the rest of the nation, okay? I still can't even believe a team like Arizona has lost two. I always talk about Arizona. That's my pick to win it all. I saw them when they played over here, okay? So we got Duke, Michigan, UConn, and Arizona to kind of be seeds number one. And that second section, number two, you got Iowa State, Florida, Purdue, and Illinois. Alabama played Arizona. Alabama played Florida. Alabama played Purdue, and Alabama played Illinois. That schedule that Alabama's played was absolutely crazy. Then the three seeds looks like Michigan State, Kansas, Houston, and Virginia, right? And then where Alabama currently is predicted is a 4 seed with Nebraska, Gonzaga, who they also played, and then Vanderbilt, who they also played as well. So Alabama's schedule, it was ridiculously hard, right? As you know, family, this video is powered by Sleeper, right? You download the app, get $20 by just downloading the app. The promo code is TAILGATE. Terms and conditions apply. Available in 25 states. Definitely check it out. They got a great feature, which is the team picks now, where you can look at some analytical data and kind of make your best assumption on who's going to win each game. They also have, the players, which is more or less Aiden Holloway last game, less than 25 points. I thought that was an easy one to pick. And, of course, terms and conditions apply. And as always, past performance is not indicative of future results. All right. So coming up next, we got the pinwheel for this beautiful raffle. Don't go anywhere. Once you hear the pinwheel music, we'll get cooking. Appreciate you guys being into the comment box. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Now is time for Kyle's Chemicals. All right, family. We got the pinwheel on Friday. All right. Good luck to everybody that's been in. Remember, you get in by super chats. And actually, I'll be right back. I got to do one more thing. You get in by super chats. That's the easiest way to get in. Or you could Venmo. You guys know the rules, right? So I appreciate you guys always rocking with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming up next, we got the pinwheel. 1 second, though. Just make sure something is taken care of. And then we'll get you out of here, all right? And it's important, family, that you email me as soon as you win so I could get your address and all that stuff, and I can put all that into action. So thank you so much. Coming up next, the pinwheel right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, here we go. All right, ready? All right, welcome to the pinwheel. It's Pinwheel Friday. We're doing the beautiful white hoodie. It's crested Bama Football on YouTube, all right? Email me. This is my email inside the comment box, nmpreps@gmail.com. I'm never going to get another email. That is just my email that I'm going to rock with, and that's just it, okay? So email me as soon as you win, all right? With that said, let's do it, okay? 3, 2, after these messages. Just kidding. All right, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Who's going to win? Dylan. Dylan is a first-time winner. Wow, Dylan, congratulations. Dylan, appreciate you, bro. Definitely hit me up. You got Dylan, who has won the pinwheel, all right? We'll go a little full screen for you guys on this Feel Good Friday. Dylan, you have won, bro, all right? Email me, Dylan. You know who you are, bro. And I'm perhaps at gmail.com. Congratulations on your white hoodie. I got to get a hoodie myself, man. Those are absolutely fire, 100%. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy your beautiful life. Dano, happy birthday, bro. We love you. We appreciate you guys. If you guys are battling anything out there, continue to push forward day by day, right? It's never going to be solved. The stars are never going to align, right? So it's your job to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. But if you need help, come over here. You need some life coaching, tell me inside the comment box. I got you, okay? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Stay close to God. Say your prayers. Enjoy this beautiful life. And we will catch you next show right here on Bama Football on YouTube. All right? I'm thinking I might take a couple days on the podcast. All right? So we might see the podcast on Monday. All right? I think I need a couple days to kind of reset the wheels. So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm crazy like that. So keep your head on the swivel. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Enjoy your life. Thanks for watching Bama Football on YouTube. Congratulations, Dylan. And one more time, happy birthday, Dano. We love you guys, and we'll see you on the next show right here on Bama Football on YouTube. See you, family. Thanks for watching.